So look, I get it. When you want to lose body fat and you want to gain some muscle, there's going to be a lot of conflicting information. One guy's going to say do keto, one guy's going to say do carnivore, next guy says plyometrics and calisthenics. One guy might even say don't drink water, don't drink coffee, do this, do that. Everyone's going to throw out what they think is going to be best. Or maybe they've just got really good genetics and anything that they tried worked, but it might not actually work for you specifically. And if you're in that skinny fat category, you want to lose body fat without losing muscle, and we want to gain muscle without gaining fat. So your advice needs to be really specific to you instead of just generic how to lose weight, how to gain muscle. And the thing is, if you're a little bit doubtful about the plan that you're following, or you're not sure what to do, or you're just a little bit overwhelmed by all the information, then you're going to lack the self-belief, the self-confidence, and you're going to doubt your actions from day one, which means why the hell are you going to stick to it if you're in consistent doubt that what you're doing is not going to work? Now, over the past few years, I have helped over 170 skinny fat men lose their bellies, lose their moobs, gain muscle in their arms, gain muscle in their chest, and completely transform their body in as little as 12 weeks all the way up to 12 months. And transformations do take time, and I'm not going to sit here promising you that you're going to look shredded in 4 weeks. But if you follow this simple strategy that my clients have been following, then I can guarantee you that it will speed up your progress tremendously. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 crucial steps to help you fix the skinny fat physique so you can just copy what has worked for all of my clients. Make sure you pay attention to step number 4 because that is the most overlooked part of any transformation. So let's start with step 1. Step 1, nutrition. Who would have thought? Now, we're not going to get anywhere unless we cover nutrition first, because that's the absolute foundation. The most important thing when it comes to nutrition is making sure that your calories are set up correctly alongside your macronutrients. Now, if you're skinny fat, this is particularly important because if we eat too low on the calories, you can risk more muscle loss, you can go catabolic and end up a smaller version of skinny fat, and ultimately lowering your metabolic rate. So then when you stop following that ludicrously low calorie diet, you're very likely to put all that weight back on at the end of it. And then on the flip side, if you think, hey, I want to fix skinny fat, why don't I go on a bulk? All the areas that you currently dislike, the lower back and the belly and the moobs, all those areas will grow if you start bulk too soon. So we want to aim for a smaller calorie deficit, somewhere between 300 and 500 below your maintenance. That way you're in a deficit, you're losing body fat, but you're still eating enough to sustain the performance in the gym, keep some muscle, and maybe even gain it if you're relatively new. Now, to help you work this out, I've got a free nutritional blueprint so you can get this set up properly. You can download that in the bio. That's going to show you how to set up your calories accurately and to set your macronutrient ratios, as well as how to adjust it over time. And this is the most important thing in my opinion, because that was the only thing that I was missing. If I had this 7 years ago, I would have managed to get my transformation done a lot quicker. Now, once we've worked out your calories, we want to find a way to track them. I would recommend MyFitnessPal. You can use a notes app. You can use any app. As long as you're counting these calories and paying attention to it, that will help guarantee that those numbers are accurate. Because if they're not and you're guessing it, it's not going to last very long and it's very easy to be way off more than you think. And then to make sure this diet actually works, we want to plan ahead. There's no point going, right, it's Friday, I'm just going to eat whatever and then track it and go, oh, I'm over by 1,000. Whoops. But by planning ahead, you can easily make better decisions. For example, I know that today I'm going out for lunch, probably going to have steak and fries. It's going to be quite high in fat, high in calories, and high in carbs with sufficient protein. And because I know that and I've planned ahead, I've already had a protein shake. I'm going to have some eggs, lean chicken, and some salad to keep me fuller for longer. And that way I can go out and have those steak and chips and not really worry and track it and hit my calories easily. Or you can even meal prep. I don't normally push meal prep very often because I do find it can be quite restrictive and boring. But if you struggle with decision fatigue, meal prepping is a great way to make things a little bit easier and plan ahead. Now on to step 2, that is your workout strategy. And this is where a lot of guys get confused when it comes to fixing skinny fat. They'll be told, go and do loads of running and cardio. Why don't you do body weight exercises? Why don't you do fat burning classes, HIIT training, high rocks, CrossFit? Everyone throws around what they think is going to be the best. But the bottom line is, if we think about this logically, we're trying to lose body fat and gain muscle. So doing a bunch of running is not going to help you keep muscle. Doing body weight movements are great at the start, but they're very limited on progressive overload. So strength is going to be a limiting factor. Now what's worked best for myself and my clients is focusing on a strength overload system. This could be a 5x5, 4 sets of 10, as long as there's some form of increased weight and resistance over time with good form, the body's going to respond favorably towards lean mass, and it's going to help you burn calories, but also burn calories in the recovery and help you keep more lean muscle, which means you're going to lose fat a little bit quicker, but you're also building your body's capacity to sustain those results once you've got them, essentially increasing your demand for calories or increasing your metabolic rate. And the best way to go about building a workout plan is it has to be specific for you. Everyone downloads their favorite influencers program, and most of the time influencers don't want to go, here's pull push legs, mate. Cheers for that. That's 100 pounds. Because you're going to feel like you've been ripped off because it's just basic. So they jazz it up, they add loads of volume, all these weird movements, they make things up, they go, oh, get this cable, attach it to that, put your legs in the middle, lift up a tea kettle, and we call it twatalots. It's just silly, it's just all over the place. And that's the problem with the fitness industry, it is quite boring. So people make things up to get attention. So there's nothing wrong with you sticking to a pull push legs, an upper lower body split, as long as you're hitting each muscle group once per week on a consistent basis that you can personally stick to around your schedule, and then track those metrics and improve them over time, you're going to get 10 times better result keeping it simple with overload than adding all the flash, which is just trash. So if you're not sure where to start, get a very, very simple pull push legs program, or an upper body lower body if you can only train twice per week. And make sure you're hitting every angle at least once. A vertical movement for pull downs, a horizontal row movement, a bicep curl, a tricep extension, a bench press, shoulder press, you get the point. Keep it very simple, and then once you've got your plan, give it a go. Track everything, make sure you log your weights, your reps, and see how you progress. And eventually something will stop working. You might hit a plateau, the weights won't go any further, and that means you can then review that progress and make adjustments based on what you're seeing is working and based on what is not working. So build your plan, make sure it fits your schedule. You might have weeks when you're really busy or weeks when you're not as busy. So we want to make sure this workout plan is flexible, because the best training plan is the one you can stick to. And then you want to track your performance so that when you start to plateau or hit a wall, you know what to change and when. Otherwise, you hit a plateau, your training just goes through the motions, you go on whatever machine's available and nothing's really going to change. Now, step 3, this is quite an important thing that a lot of people don't do. And that is reviewing the data, right? Sounds boring, but you want to review your full week's data. This is your weigh-ins, your progress photos, your calories and macros, as well as your performance in the gym. Some dudes track their body fat percentage and body weight measurements, but I find that can be a little bit excessive, and those can fluctuate quite a lot, which can kind of make you go a bit mad if you've gained an inch on your bicep because you've drank loads of water. So what I personally recommend my clients is we do daily weigh-ins to monitor fluctuations in body weight, because it can easily indicate that carbs are too high or that the timing of the meals is off. So you look at the week's total, which helps you get a little bit of a better understanding of how your body's responding to the food. And then of course we look through the calories and macros and see how close they are to their targets, so we can make some adjustments if needed. We review the progress photos to make sure we're seeing visible results, because the scale weight can still go up even if you lose body fat. You can gain 2 pounds of glycogen storage, but you could also lose a pound of body fat, which means you'll be net up 1 pound, even though you've lost body fat. So comparing photos to scale weight is very important. And then of course, the very important metric is performance in the gym. Are you getting stronger? Are you adding reps? Have you gone backwards? Are you consistent? What's lacking? What's working? This is how you slowly refine your training program to suit you specifically. Otherwise, you're gonna hit a wall, you lose interest, you lose motivation, and you just go through the motions and get nowhere. Or you end up just jumping from program to program because it's a little bit of a shiny object syndrome, like, oh, that looks nice. Maybe I should do more plyometrics, and actually, maybe I should do drop sets. Oh, I'll do a pyramid set this week. Actually, I fancy bench press. No, I'll do dumbbells. If it's all over the place, you're chasing too many rabbits, and if you chase too many rabbits, you're going to catch neither of them. Pick one rabbit, one exercise, catch it, overload it, and then start chasing the other rabbits one at a time. Now, step 4 is extremely overlooked, and this is why most men see a little bit of progress at the beginning and they feel like they're going to get there and get their full transformation, but then they hit this wall and they're just like, now what? And that's because they're not adjusting their program. Now, as you get better, you get fitter and stronger and more efficient, you get diminishing returns. You get better, so it gets harder to get better. Your body becomes adaptive, which is a good thing, but it also means that what got you here won't get you there. You will plateau and you will hit a wall. It is inevitable. When that happens, if you don't know why you've hit a wall or what adjustments you need to make, you're either going to keep doing the same thing, which is going to drive you insane, or you're going to get distracted by some influencer telling you need to take creatine or BCAAs or L-glutamine or citrulline malate, or you need to do keto, bro, and then next week it's carnivore. It just opens you up to be distracted, because if you hit a wall and something's not working, the first thing you're going to do is look for another solution. Sometimes it's do more of the same, but improve it as you go. When it comes to my clients, I'll look at their performance metrics. If something in the gym hasn't progressed over the last 4 or 5 weeks, we might have changed the approach. We might add more volume. We might increase the weight to push past the current weight that they're used to. We might drop the reps down so they can get more weight. We might even increase the reps so they can get more conditioning and fitness with that weight. There needs to be some form of progressive overload on a frequent basis, otherwise the body just will not change. Maybe it's the food. Maybe their body has got metabolic adaptation and it's become very stubborn and accustomed to the amount of calories they're hitting. So even though they're in a deficit on paper, the reality is their body will adjust with it. So you may need to lower your calories, you might need to increase your energy expenditure by chucking in a little bit of cardio or adding an extra workout. Sometimes adjusting is just reviewing your progress and realizing you haven't really quite been as accurate as you think. So tidying things up by 1%, 2% can also move you forward. Sometimes a plateau is that you haven't really stuck to the plan as much as you think you have. And that's why this step is so important. If you don't adjust, you're going to hit a wall. I spent 7 years trying to lose body fat and gain muscle, and I just didn't really change much because I wasn't tracking my food and it was all over the place. As soon as I locked that in, I was able to get a decent transformation within about 6 to 9 months. And then the next 2 years, I looked the same. And that's because I didn't make any adjustments. I just kept doing the same plan, same calories, same everything. I got lazy. It's kind of like using an axe against a tree. You can keep hitting it all you want, but it's eventually going to get blunt and become ineffective, and it needs to stop and recalibrate, get sharpened to come back better. So adjusting what you've tracked is vital. So let's recap and make sure this is simple. Step 1, we want to focus on our nutrition by getting our calories correct and tracking them and then planning ahead so we can actually stick to it. Step 2, we want a good workout strategy. It's got to be a plan that works for you. It's got to work around your ever-changing schedule, and you want to pay attention to the performance. Then, with those 2 things logged, we want to review that data and make sure that every single week we're paying attention to what we've logged, identifying any areas that are struggling or a weak point. Maybe you're missing your calories, maybe you're missing your workouts, and then look at your progress photos to see if you're actually getting any results. And then step 4, like I said, very, very important. You want to be adjusting as you go. You want to make sure you're improving the workout plan, adjusting the food so you don't hit a plateau with your metabolic rate. And you want to always be planning ahead every single week so you don't end up just wasting the weeks and wasting the months and getting nowhere. Now, this strategy has worked time and time again with my clients. And the reason for that is it's simple, it's to the point, we're chasing one rabbit at a time. And every single week I review everything my clients have logged so we can make sure that they're staying focused, the accountability is there, everything's getting done, and we can adjust things accordingly, which means we're able to get results like Reese, who was able to transform completely in just 12 months. Same for my client Matthew, who did this in 14 weeks. He was able to lose the stubborn body fat after hitting a plateau for a few years. And then same with my client Ross, who'd spent 10 years just playing around with cardio and eating salads and ultimately getting nowhere. And he's able to achieve this transformation in 12 weeks. And the same for Matt, who's actually Ross's friend, who did the same thing in about 14 weeks. Losing his belly, still being flexible with food, and slowly getting stronger in the gym, so now he can eat more. Now, if you want some help actually implementing this, or you just need the guidance and accountability to get it done, or you just want someone to show you what to do, you can work with me one-to-one like these guys did by hitting the link below and booking a call with me, and we'll see if I can help you out. Don't forget to download your free nutritional blueprint to get your numbers right. And if you want to know the brutal truth of getting in shape, you can watch this video over here, because these are things that I wish I knew at the start, which could have saved me several years of time.